What is infrastructure as code? Why do developers use it? And what problem is it actually solving? Infrastructure as code is just a way of managing and configuring infrastructure through code instead of manually using the user interface. It allows you to build, change, and manage your infrastructure in a trackable, repeatable way. To understand why this matters, I'll explain how infrastructure is normally created. When you host a website or you spin up a server on a cloud provider like AWS, you usually go to the Cloud Console and click a bunch of buttons to set it up. You might create a server, configure networking, attach storage, or set permissions. So what is the problem with this? Maybe you need to create the same setup for a test environment, or maybe you need to update something across multiple environments. Now you have to remember exactly everything you click through, and it's really easy to make mistakes or miss something off. And this can introduce inconsistencies and mistakes. And especially when you cannot track that, it becomes difficult to manage over time. And this is where infrastructure as code comes in. So this is just, instead of manually configuring it through the UI, you do it through code. And you can do the same things. You can define servers, configure networking, set permissions, etc. And because it's code, it is version controlled, tracked, and of course your work can be approved by others, and it's much, much safer. Infrastructure as code is typically managed through tools like Terraform. Terraform allows you to create configuration files to describe the infrastructure. And when you run the tool, it creates or updates the infrastructure that you want. So in simple terms, infrastructure as code is just a way of managing your infrastructure through code instead of doing manual configuration, which means that your changes can be consistent, tracked, and repeatable. If you like this video, I have a whole playlist on overviews of software concepts, so check that out. But other than that, I'll see you next time. And I don't know why I find that hard to say. How did you get that, you cheeky girl? Can you stop eating my foot? Go on.